This is a product for every man, woman, and child on the planet. So we want to own what we create.
This is Brian Bianchetti of People's Choice Beef Jerky.
Hi, this is Jake with Rinse-A-Roo.
Hey, it's Brian and Michael Speciale of The Comfy, the sensation you saw on Shark Tank.
And you're listening?
And
you are listening to the E-Comm Show.
Welcome to the E-Comm Show, presented by BlueTuskr, the number one place to hear the inside scoop from other e-commerce experts, where they share their secrets on how they scaled their business and are now living the dream. Now, here is your host, Andrew Math.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the E-Comm Show. My name is Andrew Math, and today I am joined by the Special Brothers of The Comfy. You may know them from Shark Tank. So, gentlemen, I'm super excited to have you guys on the show. You guys ready for a good show?
Let's do it, man.
Of course, man. Nice to meet you.
Beautiful. Nice to meet you as well. I'm so excited, obviously, because this is a first. You guys are the first people we've had on Shark Tank on the show. So obviously, I'm going to have some Shark Tank questions. I'm a big fan, so I can't not. But I will try not to annoy you with what I assume is always asked.
All good. We love talking about it, man. It's our roots.
Oh, good. Then we'll stick to it. So let's pretend no one knows who you guys are. Brian, Michael, whichever one of you prefer, why don't you guys give us a little bit of background on what the Comfy is, where you guys got started, how you got here, and we'll kind of go from there, okay?
Yeah, we're just a couple of brothers from the desert. I'm Brian Speciale. My brother's Michael Speciale. And coming up on 5 years ago now, in February of 2017, little bro there was going through a divorce and the roughest time of his life for sure. And his high school sweetheart, something he didn't want. So he's staying at my house, right? And he wakes up one morning, and what happened, Michael, when you woke up that one morning and walked through the living room?
Yeah, trudging through the living room, bro.
Yeah, just all downtrodden.
Downtrodden. Look up, and I see my brother's son, who's 7 years old at the time, sitting on the couch. And he's not just sitting there, he's actually wearing one of my brother's old hoodies, old sweatshirts. And so it just absolutely swallows him up. He's got his knees pulled into it. He's got his arms pulled in. He's got the hood up. And he's just kind of peeking out of there. He's in there playing one of his video games. And we just catch eyes. I'm like, wow, like Saxon, you look so warm and comfy, And I'm just looking at my big bro. I'm like, man, bro, wouldn't everybody like to feel like that? Just that, that big, oversized sweatshirt, thingy. And it's like just to cover you up and have that security and everything. And there was a blanket laying over the back of the couch. We decided we're like, man, maybe we can make it out of that material. We researched it for a couple of weeks and couldn't find anything like it whatsoever. And that's really where the idea came for the world's truly first wearable blanket, and that's where it started. And it's been just an incredible ride since then. It took us 6 months from that idea, from that day, to be actually standing in front of the sharks, launching our product, in front of all those sharks and getting a deal with Barbara Corcoran. 6 months. So that's how quick we move.
Yeah, and the company's taking the world by storm, man. It's this gigantic, oversized, wearable blanket. It kind of looks hilarious on you when you put it on. You might think it's kind of a novelty or something like that. And then you stop. So you just kind of laugh, ha, ha, ha. And then you kind of go, wait a second. This is the most comfortable thing I have ever had on my body before. Where has this been all my life? So we like to say you go from the ha-ha moment to the aha moment right away. And 4 years later, we are in the top 3 of most successful companies in Shark Tank history. And we are Barbara Corcoran, who we got to deal with. We're her number one company in her 13 seasons now on the show. So we're pretty proud of that. And it just goes to show you sometimes ideas are hiding in places that you would never expect them to be. And if you're just willing to kind of look a little bit, opportunities are everywhere. And then we got off the couch and we actually did something about it. And that's why we are where we are today. We're very fortunate. It's been an amazing ride.
The amount that you guys were able to scale in like 2 years. Now, don't get me wrong. You had Shark Tank, you were able to leverage off that kind of snowball effect, but still, I know after a while, there's that real nice bump on Shark Tank, but then it dwindles off relatively quickly. And so I was going to ask you, and I think you just mentioned as well, you guys are still in the top 5 products that have come off Shark Tank since inception of that show, right?
Yeah, and it kills us that we're not number one yet, and we're very competitive, and we will be number one at some point. We've only been at this for 4 years. But yeah, you talk about that Shark Tank bump, Andrew, and it's true. It lasted, in our case, for about 3 weeks. And then it slowly started to go away. The first night it went crazy. We sold out of all our product to the point where we were back ordered until May of the next year. We aired in December of 2017. We were back ordered until May. So we're basically taking people's money and telling them, hey, we're still going to get this to you, but it's going to be, 4, 5, 6 months at a time before we can get it to you. And people were still, giving us their money. But it did start to slow down after that, to the point where it's like, kind of like, crap, what are we going to do now? Shark Tank doesn't last forever. So we had this video that we shot in our houses, just grabbed my camera and we shot it. And somehow it just was a super fun video that resonated with people. And it would just completely bonkers viral around the world. And when I say viral, I'm talking over 100 million views on various platforms, because it just kept getting picked up by the big Facebook pages and the big Instagram accounts. And suddenly it was everywhere. And we woke up one morning and I remember I was looking for Michael. It was on New Year's Day when this happened.
2018.
And I was like, 2018. And I was like, dude, we have there's 60 countries who we've got orders from all of a sudden. And over $1 million worth of sales. And where the heck did this come from? And we finally figured out it was that video, but it happened in the snap of a finger. No kidding. So if you can come up with something to get yourself recognized on YouTube or any social media, that was really the key to take us to the next level.
You can't force it. That's the thing. Yeah, you can't force it. It was truly organic. That's the thing. It was just an organic video that just absolutely took off and took us to the next level. And from there, we knew, okay, we absolutely have something. We have a product for everyone, for the entire world. Honestly, it's one size for everyone, so you don't have to worry about sizing. It's the perfect gift. And from there, that's when we decided, okay, we need to get this into the big box stores and everything else and really expand our brand. And we did all of that the same year, believe it or not, and just kept pushing and basically doubling revenue year over year for the last 4 years.
That is a hell of a way to start a new year. Wake up the next morning like, 2018 is gonna be great. So you mentioned just now too that you went into retail. I know on the episode they were kind of like, oh, we don't think the retail is the way to go, and they were kind of pushed back, and yet you did it anyway. So what made you say like, no, forget the sharks, like we're doing this? Like what was kind of that thing that told you guys like we got to go that route?
And there's such a lesson there, because we were on, I think I said on the show, the most sacred ground in all of entrepreneurship. We were standing there. These titans of industry are looking back at you, these world-class entrepreneurs, and they're all telling you not to do something. So it just goes to show you that if you're talking to a friend or a relative or mom or dad or a sibling about an idea you have, and people are like, oh no, that'll never work. Well, hey, I mean, look what happened to us. The Shark Tank sharks told us not to do something, and we did it anyway because we knew it was the right thing to do. And it turns out they were wrong and we were right, because if we had not gotten ourselves into retail, our product was so popular and so knockoffable, counterfeitable, right? That someone was going to step in and steal it from us and become the brand. And we like to use the comparison of back when the Snuggie was big. It didn't start with the Snuggie. It started with the Slanket, right? This little British company. And Slanket didn't become the brand. They got knocked off by Snuggie. Snuggie took it and became, the eponymous that they are that sleeve blanket thingy that they did, whatever. And Slanket was just this little company. And we always said, bro, we will not become the Slanket no matter what. And getting into retail, I really believe was the key to that.
Yeah. So you'd also mentioned like you guys obviously scaled pretty quick. I mean, you went from 0 at one point in 2017 to, I think you surpassed almost like 50 million in 2019, right? I believe.
Yep, you're right.
So we're now 2 years further. Have you guys passed that 9-figure mark yet?
In terms of revenue, we'll be right around that this year. In terms of overall sales at retail, we'll be pushing 300 to 400 million this year total.
So what do you think? That's insane to do in 4 years. What do you think was the thing that kind of helped you guys get over that 9-figure hump? Because I know like that 50 is always rough, 100's rough. Like what is it has kind of helped you guys through that?
I think it's our competitiveness more than anything. And we knew it was coming. Brian was just talking about the knockoffs. They came hot and heavy very early on.
And they're still there.
They're still there. I mean, it's thousands of companies that are knocking us off. We do have our IP. We have 5 patents, soon to be 9. So a lot of it is a lot of litigation, a lot of fighting these people back. with our IP that, we always look at it. The only reason they exist is because of us. And we keep pushing forward. Barbara always tells us, right? It's like the greatest compliment to get all these knockoffs, that are doing it. But Brian and I just kind of shake our head. It's like, it's really not, because, we created this category, this wearable blanket category. The company is ours. We have it protected. So you're damn right. We're going to keep fighting it. But that's what the competitiveness just keeps driving us, because we know if we scale back or stop pushing forward, that there will be another company that comes in and steals the market share from us. And it honestly, we look at it, it could still happen. The first one was actually the guys that own the Snuggie. They came in and tried to do this. They have no creativity. They knocked us off. And this is a billion-dollar company, multi-billion-dollar company. These people came in and we fought them off. They early on, they stole some of the big box stores from us. And we fought that back and said, look, we're the original. Here it is. We sold ourselves and ended up picking those accounts back up. So, and it's just, it never ends. As you scale and get bigger, the bigger problems come right along with it. And it's just how it is, but you have to be able to take it and just keep pushing forward. And that's what we do. And it's great doing it with your brother as well, because we motivate each other day after day to keep doing this. Yeah.
Great. Do you have someone on your team whose like sole job is to hunt down all of these knockoffs and just constantly be finding them and going after them?
There's another thing right there. I mean, when I say we have a team of lawyers, and Michael talks about big problem, more money, more problems, right? Mm-hmm. There's nothing that's more true than that. When you're paying, all these different law firms who, yes, are paying attention to the counterfeiters, and we're in litigation with a couple of different companies now that we're trying to make examples of. So yes, we have law firms on our team, I like to say, and we have a couple of people who, that's pretty much their focus is paying attention to the knockoffs. And we use this incredible software platform called Redpoints, which identifies counterfeiters, and that can be for e-commerce businesses of any level. Highly recommend them. We found them within the last year, and they've been really key to taking down a lot of the competitions who are infringing on our IP. So that was a great find. But yeah, more money, more problems, lots of law firms, lots of lawyers. It drives you bonkers, but this is the price you pay, I guess.
You have no choice. Yeah, you have to do it. You got to do it.
Yeah. Cost of doing business. I mean, I would agree with Barbara that it's a compliment, but at the same time, it sounds really obnoxious. And
the reason it's not a compliment. The reason it's not a compliment just because we knew what we had. Absolutely. We didn't need somebody else knocking us off to show, hey, you guys got a good idea here. We freaking knew it from the beginning. Call us cocky, whatever you want, but we absolutely knew it, that this is a product for every man, woman, and child on the planet. So we want to own what we created, and we will protect it and fight back anyone and everyone.
How does expanding the product line work? Are you guys looking into going into other directions with the product, or are you just looking at new designs? Like, how does that whole process work?
Yeah, we're getting into a lot, especially on the licensing side of it as well. That's going to be a huge force, which we're just starting this year. We're going to be launching a lot of the colleges coming up here in October or so, but we got a lot of other very exciting licensing opportunities that we're moving forward with that we can't discuss quite yet. But on top of that, we want to become, our core product is the Comfy, of course, the Comfy Original and the Comfy Dream, which is a little bit lighter weight, but we want to create a comfort lifestyle category, basically, and get into everything. We want to own the wearable blanket category first, because that's obviously what we're known for, and we still have a long way to go to get this out to everyone. And then a lot of it's going to be, just low hanging fruit. Once we show that we have affordable quality for everyone, then we can get into blankets and slipper socks and robes and whatever else we would like to get into, as long as it fits into our brand. But that's part of the strategic plan.
That's the biggest challenge. Yeah, that's the biggest challenge that Michael and I have is kind of pulling the reins a little bit and making sure that our team doesn't go too crazy, because he talks about low hanging fruit. He's right. We could go out tomorrow and throw the company logo on sheets or mattresses or pillows or whatever the case may be. But it's not something that makes sense for us to do right now, because we have to own the wearable blanket category that we created. So you cannot take your eye off the ball when you're trying to accomplish something like that. It's challenging, but we'll get there eventually.
Yeah. So you obviously scaled really quick. Did you ever have your own warehouse at any point, or did you guys immediately go into a 3PL, or are you in a warehouse now? Like, how's that whole fulfillment thing working for you guys?
Oh, 3PLs, everybody's favorite subject, right?
Oh my God.
Let us know when you find a really good one, and maybe we'll try that. I think we're 4 years into this. We're on our 7th or 8th 3PL already.
Oh, wow.
So, and as soon as they disappoint, I mean, you got to move on. I swear, a lot of times they promise the moon and they don't come through. They're very frustrating. But we started early on, actually went to a 3PL with our first container that came in, that we got out about a month after Shark Tank came in. And they absolutely, it was about 4,500 units total, and they were all spoken for. We sold every single one down to the last. I think we kept an extra 5 maybe, bro. And we had to get, we cared about, obviously still do care about every one of these customers and get them. They gave us our money, a month or two before, and we're trying to get these out to them. And they decided to go ahead and double ship, I think, about 150 of our customers on the East Coast. And so that extra, it was like 250 units. We're on the other side on the East Coast, and we owed those to other people that had been waiting for them that we promised. So that was our first incredible big hiccup with 3PL. So we had to turn those, get those all back to us, fired them. And our next 3PL was in my brother's living room to get all those units, units out to those customers that had been waiting for them. And my brother was the customer service rep for the first 6 months and answering those and flipping customers that were so upset with us and just letting them, I'm just being honest with them more or less of what was going on. And then from there, we got a little bit larger 3PL, and that was about 6 months long. They were about 6 months each, but we finally have settled in now to a very large 3PL that's worldwide that is doing very well for us. So hopefully that continues, but eyes wide open with 3PLs at all times. Yeah. Make sure you're tracking your products and know what's going on always. Don't just. What were
the complications that they were having? What were the complications that we're having? Like, I mean, to go through that many in that short period of time is amazing.
I honestly, what the main thing was our scale and how fast we were scaling. And we let them know what was going to happen, because Brian and I were very confident what was coming. The orders were coming in. The big box stores started coming in. And it's like they didn't believe it and didn't prepare for it. And then when it did happen, it's a fairly large product when it comes over, especially back then. We didn't have it. We didn't have it sealed, tighter in the bag and everything else. So they ran out of space a lot of times to the point where they were ready to purchase more warehouses, just for the company and all that, and string you along saying they're going to do this and then back out of it the last second, say, no, it doesn't make sense for us. So we're not going to do it. So we have to move all our product from that 3PL to a new 3PL. It was just scaling more than anything. And, so as fast as we were scaling, as much business as we're doing now, we needed somebody a large 3PL that can handle our volume and have warehouses, not only all over the country, but all over the world that can help us out and do going into different ports and everything else. So,
yeah. So going into Q4, which is obviously a very giftable product, and it's getting colder out, so it's a warm product. Like, you're obviously coming into a big season. How are you guys preparing for Q4, both on a marketing side as well as the obvious of like the supply chain issues we're having right now and everything? Like, how's that going for you guys?
Yeah, it's always a challenge. We've never made it through an entire fourth quarter with product. We've always been sold out by the first week of December. So we're hoping that this year is different. However, as everyone in this space now knows, there are incredible logistics challenges at the ports, overseas, here in the States, getting containers off of ships. We were just in LA 2 days ago doing something with Barb, and when we were flying out, we flew right over the port of Long Beach, and you could see, I think, over 100 container ships out there, all of them at least 2 miles apart, just sitting there, loaded fully, waiting to get into port to get the product offloaded. So we're in the same boat, so to speak, as everyone everyone else is. We're all going to be facing some challenges that I don't think we even understand the gravity of yet. We've gotten a lot of product in early, which is very important, obviously. But man, it remains to be seen what's going to happen this fourth quarter. I worry for a lot of businesses that are in the same position that Michael and I were, 4 years ago. If we had gone through something like that, where, oh my God, we were on Shark Tank, we promised everybody this product at a certain time, and now it's sitting out there off the port of Long Beach, and it can't come in for another who knows how long, and you're going to disappoint these people. I really worry for people like that. I feel terrible for everyone. We'll just see how it goes, man. Who knows what's going to happen? Let's come back in a few months and say, wow, it wasn't as bad as we thought it was going to be. I hope that's the case, but man, it doesn't look good right now.
Right after COVID had kind of hit, I felt like the average consumer was a little bit more understanding of like, okay, maybe I won't get this as soon as I usually do, or maybe things are on back order, stuff like that. Do you think that mentality is going to stick through Q4 and obviously probably into Q1 next year? Like they'll be okay with having to wait a little bit?
Until the Christmas presents stop showing up, and you know that stress level for sure. I think right now people are understanding, but I think as we get into November, especially after Thanksgiving and coming up on that the big deadline of December 25th to get presents under people's trees, that's where you're going to have a lot of upset consumers. So I think a lot of, especially on the shipping side, I think a lot of people, a lot of companies are going to say, yeah, I think they're going to have a deadline, probably December 1st, something like that, where you have to get your order in order for them to guarantee it getting to your house. It may even be earlier than that. We'll see. We're going to know a lot more, I'd say in early November, on where that trend's setting. And if those ships are starting to get into port, and the truckers, which is the biggest issue, can't find truckers to get those products to the warehouses is the big issue. That's what's backing everything up. So yeah, it's a little scary. I worry about the smaller companies for sure. You know, like Brian said, where we were at a year, even 2 years ago, if this happened to us, it can be really tough to get through. You know, thankfully for us, we have a product that doesn't just have to be for the holidays. You know, we have an extremely high amount of sales in the first quarter as well. So if we don't get all our product in, we sell out again. Nothing we haven't been through before. You know, not as profitable as we probably could have been in the fourth quarter, but we just turn that product right over for the first quarter. And we're able to sustain that, and I'm confident we will be able to. So plan early, plan ahead, you know, especially going into, I think this is going to continue all the way, I think, into 2023, honestly. So I think we're going to be very similar boat all the way through next year, unfortunately, until we figure out this labor shortage. It's going to take time. So plan ahead.
Speaking of labor shortage, how big is your team now?
We have about 35, direct employees on our team, but indirect employees, I mean, we're in thousands for sure. We have, I think 7 factories that are making comfies for us, and all the logistical teams and everything else, a lot of contractors, a lot of outsourcing that we do as well. But we're about 35 strong with direct employees. Absolutely incredible team that we've had, high level. Nice.
So what's the day-to-day like?
Long way from those days, for the early days, man. But, a lot of people, probably listening and watching this, Andrew, might be where we were way back in the day, or trying to figure out how to get started. Because I remember, man, I would listen to podcast after podcast on how to do Amazon and how to get a product launched, and there were certain things that we did because we had to figure it out all on our own, right? But you have the sum of human knowledge in your pocket. We all do, on our phones. We have Google. We have you can do this, man. We used a company back in the day called Guided Imports. And they were the ones who helped us source the first products and get the products, actually over to the States. Without them, I'm not sure how far, we would have gotten. I'm sure we would have figured it out at some point, but they really helped shorten the process. So there's services like that out there that, man, I would encourage people to use and learn as you go, because, man, if we would have listened to people who told us all along the way, no way. No, you guys just came up with this idea. You're not going to have product by Christmas. Sorry, maybe the Christmas after. But our attitude was always like, no, we're going to figure out a way to do it. And we did, being a little naive and kind of clueless to the whole process, I think is what really helped drive us forward, because we never took no for an answer. So, I encourage people to do the exact same thing that we did, because who knows, we figured it out. We were just a couple of single dads from the desert inventing this giant wearable blanket, and we had a goal to get on Shark Tank and to get it to market within 6 months, and we did it. You don't have to go that fast, but you can do it if you are willing to put in the work. It's work, but it can be done, because Michael was at a pool repair company and that he owned, and I was in TV production. It doesn't really lend itself to e-commerce, and wearable blankets and things like that. But here we are. So it can be done. I just encourage everybody to, if you got something you believe in, get off the couch and go for it. You can be like us.
Don't be scared of inexperience. It can be your best quality early on as an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Very good point. So, I mean, you guys obviously scaled incredibly quickly, which means I'm sure you had a lot of long days, a lot of nights and weekends. What is your day-to-day, each of your day-to-day like now? Like who focuses on what?
It's high level stuff really is what it's about now, and I mentioned the litigation side of it. I think we have 7 or 8 law firms that we work with now. So it's, a lot of that type of stuff, just strategizing, working with the executive team, following along, making sure, the marketing and everything is on point. What we would like. There's still plenty to do, but compared to what it was back in the day when we were working directly with everyone, the day-to-day operations, and had to have more or less all the answers, or at least be able to go find the answers and making all the decisions. That's definitely scaled back completely. We have an incredible executive team now in there, a great CEO and COO that are really that we trust and are managing the company at this point. So we'll just and that's basically it. There's still sleepless nights for sure because of the high level stuff that's going on with all these big problems. But it's we always said, bro, we wanted to get to the point where we had an incredible executive team where we kind of step back and let the experts do their job, which is we kind of got to that point, but you don't want to step back too far. You still have to be aware of your business and everything that's going on, because you don't want to get caught in a bad situation, which can happen very easily. So we're not right now, not even close.
Almost getting there. How involved is Barbara and her team in everything since you guys started? I imagine they helped a lot in the beginning, but have they been able to step away? Like, how much are they kind of in the day to day with you guys?
We don't talk to Barb that often. She's always there when we need her. Very important in the beginning. She was very important with connecting us with the right people to get into retail at the beginning when we decided to go against her and all the other sharks' advice. What she says on the show and what she says in all her podcasts, she's like, you guys can listen to me or don't, you might be right. So don't be afraid to carve your own path out. And I don't think someone in that position that has reached that level of success would necessarily be like that. But Barb genuinely is, and she respects our decisions. We've gone against her plenty of times. And today she's always there when we need to talk, when we need to run ideas by her. Every time we get off the phone with her, especially in the beginning, it was like we just had a master class in business because she's so smart and so connected, and everything that you see on the show, you get tenfold with Barb in person. That's who she is. She's just a super fun person to be around, and we're lucky to have her as a partner.
Yeah, and somebody that works with Barbara, his name is Mike Stevens. He's absolutely incredible businessman, handling all of her Shark Tank portfolio and everything else. But that's our main contact with Barb is through him. So I just want to give him a shout out because he's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, Mike.
He deserves it. So I would imagine Barbara's end goal would be for you guys to sell one day, but what is your end goal? Do you want to hand it down to your son, since he should get credit to a certain point, but are you keeping it? Like, what's the thought there?
Wide open to anything. I think Michael is going to say the exact same thing. We're wide open to anything. Yes, a business reaches a point at some point where you need to, recapitalize a little bit, bring some more money in. We might be at that point soon, or we might not. We're just kind of taking it day by day. We're willing to listen to anything. If anything comes our way, we'll listen to it. But more than anything, it's a legacy thing to Michael and I. We have created a product that is going to outlive all of us. It's that good of a product. We truly believe that. And so this company needs to be in the right hands so that that vision is fulfilled now and 100 years from now. And whether we're a part of it, a big part of it, a small part of it, not a part of it at all, I think the legacy and the fact that it was invented in a living room by a couple of brothers, and one brother happened to see his nephew wearing an oversized hoodie, a wearable blanket that changes the way the world stays warm, was born. It's important to us that lives on forever, whether we're a part of it or not.
Who would have thought? Yeah, the blanket could have been reinvented, right?
Yeah,
who would have thought that? Yeah, it's like reinventing the wheel. It's like, what do you mean? Yeah, but it truly is. So extremely proud of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love to kind of peek under the hood and ask you guys, like, what's your tech stack? What are you guys using? I know you're on Shopify Plus is where your website's on, but what else are you guys using to kind of drive marketing and inventory and all that fun stuff?
Man, that's a good question. Because we have so many people now doing so many things. I mentioned Red Points. I mentioned guided imports that we used in the beginning. Shopify. I don't know what Amazon tools that we're using. But yeah, Michael, you got anything to that?
Not to sound naive about it, because I don't think we are, but we have a lot of people that do this on a daily basis, and not just people on our team that oversee it, but we have a lot of consultants and as well that are constantly monitoring trends and everything else, and making sure we're top of box, or at least if we're not top of box and our competitor is, that we're at least second down, because we're so it's just it's a lot. It's kind of a tough question at this point. At the beginning, it was a lot of Brian and I doing this for sure, just one person. But now it's gotten so big, and we're spending so much on a daily basis to handle all this. But it's all positive. Believe it or not, everything seems to work for us, in terms of marketing. But we always say that comes back to because we have such a good product is really what it comes down to. Yeah, so we're just trying to get the name out there. We did a huge consumer research survey in the last couple of months, and it came back that only about 11% of the population even knows about us so far. So we're just getting started is how we look at this. As much growth as we've had, it's kind of endless on where we can go with this. Mentioned getting into licensing, and honestly taking this to the entire world, and that's our overall goal, to get it to the entire world and dominate the wearable blanket category that we created.
I mean, that's the dream, right? Is to get out of the nitty gritty of the day to day and being able to step away from it. So perfect answer in my eyes. But so you had mentioned earlier that you used to listen to a lot of podcasts and things like that to kind of get yourself caught up on what to do back then. What do you guys do now? Is there are you in masterminds, or there's still podcasts you're listening to? What are you doing to kind of keep yourselves in the loop with everything?
I am a huge podcast guy. I listened to Dude Perfect on How I Built This morning. That's probably my favorite podcast out there. It's we hope to be on that at some point. That's some inspirational stuff there. I remember listening to Scott Volker and The Amazing Seller and learning about Amazon back in the day, and his whole thing of you got to take action. And then these days I just read a book from Joe Valley on Exitpreneur. You were out talking about selling businesses. And that focuses, they do at, I think Quiet Light is the name of their business. And they're like a kind of a smaller investment bank, and they help entrepreneurs, maybe 7 and maybe 8-figure Amazon sellers sell their businesses, which is becoming a huge thing, these days. So it's just fun. It's just fun to continue to learn, because even if that's smaller scale than what we do, there's a lot to be learned from that, and the selling process if you do want to exit your business. So yeah, just podcasts that's what I do more than anything. Michael, what about you?
Yeah, a lot of podcasts as well. It's so important, instead of listening to the radio or listen to your favorite music and all that. I think it's better if you really want to be successful, be a true entrepreneur. Get that in your ear. It's always available to you, wherever you're at. You're walking in the airport, whatever it may be, just put that on and just always be listening to it. And you don't always pick up something from all the podcasts, or you may know what they're already talking about, but you can usually pick up tidbits here and there that you could use at this point or somewhere down the line. You just never know. So, yeah.
Nice. I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I know you guys are busy. So this will be that stereotypical time where I give you guys your moment to go ahead and tell everyone where they can find more about you. And, we'll wrap it up from there.
Yeah, you can find us at thecomfy.com. I think you can use the code HELLO10 and get 10% off your order. Encourage everyone. Again, we're sold out by December every year. Get your orders in now. Try the Comfy. It's the perfect gift. I mean, it doesn't have a size. It's one size fits all. It's perfect for men. It's perfect for women. It's perfect for kids. All shapes, all sizes. It will be the most popular gift that you give this year. I'm just certain of that, because we hear it We hear it time and time again. Closing in on 70,000 Amazon reviews now at 4.8 stars. So we're one of the highest rated products on Amazon. So buy with confidence and try out the company. We'd love to have you join Company Nation.
Yeah, we always like to say you can your Christmas shopping or holiday shopping can be done right now if you just go on there. And the grandmas and grandpas out there, moms and dads that have to shop for so many different people, just go pick all the same color or pick different colors and patterns, whatever you may be. And you can have a huge head start right now. We have everything in stock. So this is the time to do it because we do run out in December almost every year. That's how popular it is. So
it is definitely the perfect gift for that person that you can't think about what they want. Who wouldn't want something like this, right? It's very impressive. Thank you so much, Brian, Michael, for being on the show. Everyone who tuned in, obviously, really appreciate you guys listening. Make sure you subscribe to us on any of the podcast platforms you want or on our YouTube channel, or head over to ecommshow.com for more information. But thank you for tuning in. Keep on selling, and we will see you guys next time.
Thank you for tuning in to the E-Comm Show. Head over to ecommshow.com to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform or on the BlueTuskr YouTube channel. The E-Comm Show is brought to you by BlueTuskr, a full-service digital marketing company specifically for e-commerce sellers looking to accelerate their growth. Go to BlueTuskr.com now for more information. Make sure to tune in next week for another amazing episode of the E-Comm Show.